Man, social media is on fire right now because Kodak Black just called out Future in a way nobody saw coming. What started as a quiet rumor in Atlanta has turned into one of the biggest betrayals in hip-hop this year. Fans are saying Kodak didn't just expose Future, he buried him. The tension between these two has been simmering for months. But now it's boiling over, with accusations of backstabbing, jealousy, and secret conversations happening behind closed doors. Kodak claims Future's been smiling in his face, while talking crazy behind his back saying he fell off, that his wave is over, and that he's just a meme rapper with no legacy. But here's where it gets wild. Kodak didn't just throw shade online. He went live. And when Kodak goes live, you know it's about to get messy. His words were sharp, his tone was personal. And the internet froze as he said, "You ain't no Pluto no more. You a snake in disguise." Within minutes. Hashtags like hashtag Kodak vs Future and hashtag Snake Season started trending. Fans are divided, the industry's whispering, and even other rappers are picking sides. So what really happened between these two? What made Kodak Black finally snap? Atlanta's air was thick that night. Not with music, but with tension. Everyone in the industry could feel it. Something was brewing between two of the South's biggest names, Kodak Black and Future. What started as quiet studio talk had spiraled into full-blown chaos. And when Kodak finally went live, the internet knew something serious had gone down behind those velvet studio doors. It all began a few weeks earlier. Future and Kodak were both in Miami working out of the same luxury studio complex. They weren't there together, not at first, but the energy shifted the moment Kodak pulled up. That boy came in with 30 people, loud, laughing, throwing money like it was a movie set. A studio engineer later said, Future looked up and didn't say a word. He just smiled that cold smile he got. On the surface, everything looked cool. Future even gave Kodak a nod, that unspoken rapper acknowledgement like, "I see you, lil bro." But behind the scenes, the whispers had already started. A producer, who'd worked with both of them, claimed Future had been venting earlier that day. He said, "Man, Yak Walden too much online. Dude too messy, making the South look goofy. That's why I don't do all that internet talk." The producer laughed it off, but Kodak didn't. Word travels fast in hip-hop and faster in Florida. Within 24 hours, Kodak heard every word. And the way he found out made it even worse from someone inside Future's own camp. The text message hit his phone around 2 a.m. "Bro, Future been saying you fell off. That man been talking greasy since that bet weekend." Kodak's fingers hovered over his phone. He read the message twice. Then a third time. He didn't respond. Not yet. He just screenshot it. Then he sent it to someone close to Future. The caption was short and sharp. "Tell you boy, keep that same energy when I see him." The internet didn't know it yet. But that text was the first domino in a storm that was about to shake the culture. A few days later, both rappers ended up in the same private listening event in Atlanta, an event hosted by a major label executive. Cameras weren't allowed, but that didn't stop people from talking afterward. "The energy was weird, bro," said one attendee. "You could feel Kodak watching Future every time he laughed or talked to someone. It was like he was waiting for a reason." And the reason came faster than anyone expected. At one point in the night, Future got on the mic to preview some new music. One of the songs, a hard trap record, had a line that fans would later swear was a subliminal shot. He rapped, "These little boys get loud online but quiet when the check clear." People in the room froze. Kodak's face tightened. The people around him started whispering. Someone even pulled out their phone to record. But security stopped them before the moment could hit social media. Still, word got out, and by morning, blogs were already speculating. Did Future just diss Kodak? Kodak didn't hold back for long. The next day, he hopped on Instagram Live, his voice cold but calm. "Ain't no grown man supposed to be speaking on me behind my back," he said, staring straight into the camera. "You supposed to be Pluto, right? Astronaut status? Then stay in your galaxy, brew. Don't orbit mine." Fans flooded the comments. he talking about Future. Pluto reference crazy. Oh, it's up now. Future didn't respond immediately, which made it worse. Silence in hip-hop can feel like disrespect. Kodak doubled down, posting cryptic messages and laughing emojis on X, formerly Twitter. Then came the post that sent the internet into meltdown. You ain't no legend if you've got to whisper lies to stay relevant. That's when the floodgates opened. Rap blogs, fan pages, and industry insiders all jumped in. Screenshots, studio leaks, old interviews, everyone had something to say. People started resurfacing old footage of Future giving backhanded compliments about younger rappers. One clip from years ago showed him saying some these new cats got energy, but they ain't got no structure. Fans were convinced he'd been talking about Kodak all along. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Kodak was fuming. His close friends said he was ready to pull up, not for a fight, but for clarity. Yak don't like confusion, said a longtime associate. He either rock with you or he don't. Ain't no middle. But when Kodak tried to reach out privately through a mutual friend, he got ghosted. Future wasn't answering calls. He wasn't texting back. He was busy apparently in Dubai, performing and posting cryptic captions like, "Never argue with someone you made inspired. That was the last straw." Kodak took it personal. To him, that was a direct shot. He went live again, this time not holding anything back. "You've been fake." "Dog," Kodak said, his tone getting sharper with every word. "You talk about loyalty, but you been running your mouth to everybody like a gossiping chick. You supposed to be Pluto, but you acting like Judy Jetson." The comments exploded. Celebs started tuning in. DJ academics posted clips. 21 Savage dropped a laughing emoji under the repost. Even Drake liked one of the posts, which made fans lose their minds. Within hours, Future's name was trending. The memes started flying, Future's face photoshopped with a snake emoji, Kodak's picture next to a rocket ship. Fans were picking sides like it was a rap civil war. But what nobody knew, not yet, was that Future had receipts of his own. According to people close to him, Future felt blindsided. He allegedly told a friend, "I ain't saying nothing that wasn't true. I said, Burr, gotta chill. He out here wildin' like he forgot the business part of this." But Future wasn't planning to clap back on social media. No, he was planning something bigger. Something with music. Because right after the chaos online, Future hit the studio with Metro Boomin, and according to an insider, they cooked up a track that was all about snakes pretending to be friends. When I heard that beat drop and the hook come in, I knew exactly who he was talking about, the insider said. He didn't say no names, but the shade was nuclear. The industry could smell it. A full-on rap war was brewing. Kodak was emotional. Future was strategic. And the streets were about to witness a collision between two egos. It's too big for one city. Part 1 ends with the tension building. Kodak's fans were demanding answers. Future's camp was staying silent. And behind the scenes, label executives were panicking, trying to stop things before they went too far. Because one thing was clear. If these two decided to take it to wax, it wouldn't just be a diss track. It'd be an all-out cultural moment. The calm after Kodak's explosive Instagram Live didn't last long. In fact, there was no calm at all. Just silence that felt louder than words. The industry was watching, the blogs were waiting, and both camps were pretending nothing was happening. But behind closed doors, everything was on fire. 3 days after Kodak's rant, a mysterious clip started circulating in private group chats. A short, grainy audio recording of what sounded like Future in a studio session. In the clip, a voice that sounded a lot like Pluto could be heard laughing and saying, "I love Yak, but that boy reckless. Man, he ain't thinking about longevity, he's thinking about likes." That was all it took. The internet didn't need confirmation. Within hours, the clip was everywhere. Twitter, TikTok, even Reddit threads dissecting every second like it was the Zapruder film. Did Future really say this? Who leaked this audio? Yo, this sound like a setup. It didn't take long before Kodak saw it, and that's when the fire turned nuclear. He went live again. pacing back and forth, shaking his head with that wild grin that only shows up when he's furious. So that's what we doing now. Record din folks behind they back. Dude's out here acting like the feds. He played the clip during his live. Fans were eating it up, spamming the chat with snake emojis and rocket ships. Kodak looked dead into the camera and said, "You ain't my dog no more. You industry." That line went viral. Memes, hashtags, diss-edits. Even YouTubers were making 10-minute breakdowns calling it the end of Kodak and Future's friendship. But here's where it gets crazy. Future swore he never said it. His camp released a statement to TMZ saying the clip was fake, AI generated, and intentionally leaked to create division. Now, the story had two sides, and both sounded believable. One of Future's producers even went on X to say, "Man, y'all believe anything? Pluto don't even talk like that. Bro, don't gossip, he makes hits." But the damage was done. Kodak didn't believe a word of it. According to a friend close to Yak, he felt betrayed twice. Once by the talk, and then by the denial. He was like, "Now you calling me dumb too?" And that's when Kodak decided to take things beyond live. He dropped a snippet on his Instagram, a song titled Snake Talk. The lyrics were pure venom. "Say you Pluto, but you moving like a clone. Smiling in my face, but you hatin' in yo phone. Said I fell off. Well, I'm still on the throne. I'm the reason half y'all even got a tone." Within minutes, the clip was everywhere. Blogs, TikTok edits, reaction videos, all dissecting the lyrics line by line. Even though it was just a snippet, it was enough to set the stage for war. And fans knew it. They started comparing Snake Talk to Future's rumored track with Metro Boomin, which allegedly threw shade right back. That's when the third twist hit the timeline. An anonymous Instagram account known for leaking celebrity Deems dropped screenshots claiming to show a conversation between Future and an unnamed female rapper. In the messages, Future was seen laughing about Kodak's situation, saying, "He emotional. He ain't built for this game. I'm too Pluto for that street crybaby stuff." The screenshots went viral instantly. Fans started tagging Future's exes from Lori Harvey to Dace Dior, trying to figure out who the mystery woman was. Some swore it was a female rapper who had recently collaborated with both men. Others thought it was just a troll trying to stir the pot. But Kodak, he didn't care if it was real or fake. To him, the disrespect was stacking up. He went live again, this time with his manager and two of his closest homies sitting next to him. The tone was different now. He wasn't yelling, he was surgical. "That boy been sneak dissin' for years," Kodak said calmly. "I used to look up to him, but I see what it is now. He don't like when young N*** shine brighter. He want to be the only star in the sky." Fans went crazy. Comments flooded in. "He talking 'bout Future for real now." T said star in the sky. "That's Pluto reference again. Nah, this beef too personal." Meanwhile, Future was overseas doing a show in Paris, and that's when his silence started to look strategic. He wasn't ignoring Kodak. He was calculating. 2 nights later, Future posted a teaser video with Metro Boomin on his story. The caption read, "When snakes hiss too loud. You've got to remind M who the King Cobra is." That one line broke the internet. Everyone knew what it meant. Kodak reposted the clip with laughing emojis and a caption that said, "Ain't nobody scared of no cobra. This Florida, we eat snakes." Now, it wasn't just a disagreement. It was open warfare. Even rappers started picking sides. Moneybagg Yo dropped a tweet that said, "Y'all better chill before the South split in half again." Rick Ross liked Kodak's post. Metro liked Future's. Drake, quiet, but fans noticed he unfollowed Kodak. That same night, the plot kept thickening. And just when it felt like things couldn't get worse, that's when the real bombshell dropped. A new clip leaked longer, this time. It was the same voice as before, but now it had more context. Future, or someone sounding exactly like him, was talking to another artist about Kodak's team. He said, "That boy surrounded by yes men. They hype him up to crash out, and when he do, they'll blame the industry. I tried to help him once. Never again. The internet exploded. This wasn't a subliminal anymore. This was personal. Fans called it the tape that broke the South. Kodak's next live hit 250,000 viewers. You could feel the rage through the screen. So you tried to help me. Boy, you never help nobody but yourself, Kodak shouted. You think just 'cause you wear designer and talk low, you smart? You a snake in a silk shirt? Even people who didn't usually care about rap beefs were tuned in. It became more than music. It became reality TV for hip-hop fans. Commentators started analyzing their body language, their lyrics, their social media patterns. A few insiders said Kodak had been invited to patch things up privately, but refused. He said it's past that point, one source shared. He don't want peace, he want revenge. The fans were split down the middle. Some said Kodak was overreacting. Others said Future had been throwing slick shade for years and finally got exposed. Then, another rumor began circulating that someone inside Kodak's team was planning to drop the full, unedited studio audio as a diss intro for his upcoming project. The track, allegedly titled Astronaut Tears, was said to feature actual leaked snippets of Future talking. If that was true, it would cross a line nobody had ever dared cross before, using real leaked audio in a diss track. But Kodak didn't seem to care about lines anymore. Ain't no more friendship, he said in a final Instagram story that night. You talk behind my back, I talk on the mic. The post racked up nearly 2 million views in less than 24 hours. The industry was bracing itself. Blogs were on standby. And everyone was waiting for the same thing. The music, because in hip-hop, words can trend for a day. But a diss track. That lasts forever. And both men knew once the beats dropped, there'd be no turning back. It was only a matter of time before the talking stopped and the music started, and when it did, it felt like the entire South froze. What began as a few cryptic lives and leaked audios had evolved into a full-blown lyrical war. Kodak Black had finally dropped Snake Talk, and it wasn't just a diss track. It was a manifesto. The track dropped at midnight with no promo, no announcement, just a black cover with a single emoji. Within minutes, social media exploded. The beat was dark, swampy, eerie, the kind of beat that sounds like it crawled out the Florida Everglades. And when Kodak started rapping, you could feel the venom in every word. Pluto talks slick, but he move like a ghost. Smile on the gram, but he hatin' the most. Say you timeless, but you sounding like 2016? You a legend? Only in your own dream. Fans lost it. He named Pluto. One comment screamed, "Bro said 2016, that's when Future peaked. No way he said that." Another fan wrote, "The track was 3 minutes of raw energy, Kodak calling out fake loyalty, shady mentorship, and industry big brothers who can't handle little brothers growing up." Even the outro had people talking. Kodak said, calm and cold, "Ain't no love in this game, just contracts and cameras. You talk behind my back, I make you famous again." It was the kind of record that made the streets go silent for a second. DJs started spinning it immediately. Twitter was in chaos. Within an hour, #SnakeTalk had racked up over 1 million mentions. But Future wasn't sitting quiet this time. Oh no, he had been waiting for this. 2 days later, Metro Boomin posted a photo on Instagram. Future in the booth. Head down, smoke rising, captioned, "Silence is for the wise." Drops soon. Fans knew what that meant. Pluto was about to strike back when Future's track Cosmic Revenge dropped. It was like a meteor hit the timeline. The production was cinematic, haunting pads, booming 808s, and Future in his purest toxic form. His opening line said it all. Snakes hiss when they see a star shine brighter. I raised a son, he turned to a writer. The internet erupted. He called him his son. Future said he raised Kodak. Oh, it's personal now. Southside War has begun. FRAS. But what hit the hardest wasn't the bars, it was the tone. Future wasn't yelling, Wasn't angry. He was cold, Tom/surgical. He didn't mention Kodak's name once, but every line felt aimed straight at him. Talk about loyalty. But you, the one who switched, you cry online while I'm counting the hits. Within hours, both songs were trending on Spotify, Apple Music, and TikTok. Fans were editing clips of Kodak's lives to Future's lyrics and vice versa. It was like watching a rap version of Real Housewives of Atlanta, but with Grammys involved. And then came the twist that nobody expected, because apparently, Future didn't fight this battle alone. A week after Cosmic Revenge, mysterious feature appeared on Future's new teaser snippet, none other than Young Thug's unmistakable voice. "I don't pick sides," Thug said on the intro. "But if I did, I'd go with the one who feed the team, not the drama." That one bar changed everything. Fans started saying Thug had just picked a side without saying it. Kodak's fans clapped back instantly, calling it industry politics. But the damage was done. The Atlanta scene started fracturing quietly, but visibly. People close to both camps said mutual friends were starting to distance themselves. You couldn't even mention Future's name around Yak's people without tension. One insider said he felt like everybody was playing both sides. Even DJs were caught in the crossfire. One famous Atlanta DJ accidentally played Cosmic Revenge at a Kodak-hosted event, and witnesses say Kodak had him cut the music mid-song. He was like, "Turn that snake music off," one attendee said. But Kodak wasn't done yet. He had one more move up his sleeve, and it was the kind of move that blurs the line between petty and powerful. He posted a snippet of a music video filmed in a swamp, with him sitting on a throne made of fake snakeskins. In one scene, a masked actor dressed suspiciously like Future's same dreads, same shades, walks into the frame and gets bitten by a CGI snake. The internet went insane. He mocked Future in the video, bro, really acting out the beef like it's a Netflix show. 10/10 petty points to Yak. But while Kodak was willed in for the internet, Future was playing chess in the background. According to insiders, Future was in talks with a major streaming platform to release a short documentary called Pluto's Perspective, giving his side of the story. The rumored tagline, "You think you know the truth, but you heard it from a snake." That line alone started a new wave of memes. Fans called it the most Future thing ever. Meanwhile, behind the public spectacle, there were private consequences. Kodak's label was reportedly nervous. They didn't like the way he was dragging other artists, a source told Complex. They told him to chill before it affects partnerships. Kodak didn't care. "Ain't nobody gonna tell me when to talk," he said in a tweet that same day. "If I gotta lose deals to keep it real, so be it." That tweet alone made fans rally behind him even more, painting Kodak as the raw, unfiltered underdog going up against the cool, calculated industry veteran. But here's where things got dangerous. An anonymous YouTube channel, one that had been leaking behind-the-scenes drama all week, dropped a new bombshell video claiming to have proof that Future did talk about Kodak behind his back during a studio session months earlier. The video included blurry footage of a recording screen and muffled voices. You could hear someone sounding like Future say, "Yeah, cool, but he messy. He bring drama everywhere he go. That's why I don't keep him around." The clip hit 1 million views in an hour. Future's camp denied it again, saying it was AI edited. But fans weren't convinced anymore. "Every time they say AI, it sounds more real," one comment read. Meanwhile, Kodak fanned the flames with a tweet. "If it's fake, why you so mad?" The tension reached new heights. Even mainstream news outlets started covering it. Complex called it the most entertaining hip-hop feud of the year. Rolling Stone called it Future versus Kodak, mentor or manipulator. And fans began debating deeper themes, loyalty, authenticity, and how fame changes people. Some argued Kodak was exposing a system where older rappers secretly gatekeep the younger ones. Others said Kodak was just too emotional, letting social media fuel paranoia. But then Another twist, a Miami DJ who had quietly worked with both artists went live saying something that flipped the internet upside down. "This beef ain't just about music," he said. "It's about betrayal. There's something y'all don't know. Somebody close to Kodak been feeding Future info this whole time." Fans went crazy. Who was the mole? A manager? A producer? A friend? One name started trending after a few cryptic posts. Kodak's own longtime engineer who suddenly went silent online. The rumor? He was the one who leaked the private audio in the first place, not to hurt Future, but to make Kodak look like the victim and stir hype for Kodak's next album rollout, if that was true. The whole situation was flipped. Suddenly, Future wasn't the snake Kodak's own circle was. The internet was in chaos again. People didn't know who to believe anymore. And as both rappers stayed eerily quiet for the next few days, fans could only wonder, had Kodak been set up by his own team? Was this entire beef just a trap to promote albums? Or was it all way too personal, too fake? Either way, one thing was clear. This story was far from over. Because in hip-hop, silence doesn't mean peace. It means someone's plotting their next move. And Future was rumored to be preparing something so calculated. It might just end Kodak's entire campaign by the time the dust started to settle. Nobody knew what was real anymore. What started as whispers in the studio had turned into one of the most talked about hip-hop feuds of the year. Kodak versus Future wasn't just music beef anymore. It was loyalty, betrayal, and ego wrapped into one messy storm. But as fans argued online about who was right, something much darker was happening behind the scenes. Remember that rumor? The one about a mole in Kodak's camp. Turns out it wasn't just a rumor. About a week after Snake Talk hit 50 million streams, a well-known Atlanta blogger dropped a bombshell video claiming to have proof of who had been leaking Kodak's private convos, texts, and even those studio audios that started everything. The culprit. Kodak's own engineer, a dude named Rico who had been with him since his breakout mixtape days. According to receipts, Rico had been quietly selling inside info to a few industry people, and one of them had ties to Future's management. The internet went ballistic. Nitrogen monoxide. Wait, it was his own team. Bro really sold yak out for clout and connections. Rico, the real snake. Suddenly, everything started making sense. The timing of the leaks. The way certain blogs always had footage before Kodak even went live. Even the mysterious AI excuse Future's team had been pushing. Kodak's rage was on another level. He didn't go live this time. He didn't post memes. He just tweeted one word: rats. Then, a few hours later, "That's why I trust nobody. Love'll get you laced quicker than a deal." That tweet alone got over 600K likes. Everyone knew what he meant. Rico was out. Gone. Kodak reportedly cut him off immediately and had security remove him from the studio. An insider told the Shade Room, Yak was hurt more than mad. He really treated that boy like family. It wasn't even about Future no more. It was about betrayal. But when news hit Future's camp, the story took an even stranger turn. Sources close to Future claimed he had no idea any of that was happening. One of his managers allegedly told a journalist off the record, "Pluto don't do sneaky business. We ain't pay nobody. Folks just want to attach his name to every headline." And here's where it gets deep. A voice note leaked that night, supposedly from Future himself. You could hear him saying, "I don't hate that man. I ain't got no beef with him. We just different breeds. But I ain't out here sabotaging nobody. I'm too busy getting money." For the first time in weeks, fans actually paused. Was Future telling the truth? Even Kodak's fans started to rethink everything. Maybe this wasn't about Future talking behind his back. Maybe it was about people around both of them stirring the pot for views, clicks, and chaos. That's when something unexpected happened. Kodak showed up, unannounced, at an event in Miami where Metro Boomin was performing a Future set. Fans thought he was there to crash it. The tension in the crowd was insane. Cameras were ready. Everyone was waiting for a scene. But instead, Kodak walked up to the edge of the stage, nodded, and dapped Metro up. The crowd went silent. A few minutes later, Future came out, and though the two didn't speak, they didn't walk away either. A fan video from the night showed Future pointing at Kodak and smiling slightly before performing March Madness. The internet lost its mind. WAIT. Are they squashing it? Nah, that's a power move. Loki, respect to both of them. The blogs went wild again, except this time it wasn't war, it was peace. Or something like it. 2 days later, Kodak posted a cryptic message on Instagram. Sometimes God show you who really for you by letting everybody play their part. Underneath it, fans noticed something. Future had liked the post. No caption, no explanation, no extra talk. Just a silent like. For the first time in a month, both camps went quiet. No sneak disses, no lives, no tweets. Just silence. And in hip-hop, silence usually means one thing. The storm has passed, but that didn't stop fans from speculating. Was it a real truce? Or just a pause before round 2? Because just when everyone thought it was over, clips started circulating from an interview Future had done with a French magazine while he was overseas. In it, he said, "The game too small for ego. If I got an issue with somebody, I handle it man to man, not on live. But I respect passion. Passion mean you care." That line hit different. It didn't sound like shade, it sounded like closure. And then came the final twist. Kodak and Future were spotted in the same studio in Los Angeles a few weeks later. Not together, but same building, same night. The photo wasn't even clear. Just a shadowy shot of 2 black cars parked side by side outside the studio. But that was enough to reignite the internet. Nitrogen monoxide way, they working together again, Pluto X-Yak Part 2, incoming. This beef turned into a collab rollout watch. A source close to both artists told a podcast host, "Ain't no collab yet." But they talked. Real convo. No cameras, no phones. Just 2 men squashing pride. And that was it. The feud that started over rumors, betrayal. And fake loyalty ended with something real. Understanding, but not everyone bought it. Some fans think the whole thing was a setup from the start. A carefully orchestrated storyline to drive streams, headlines, and engagement. And honestly, it worked. Both artists had record-breaking numbers. Every post, every diss, every cryptic caption turned into views, money, and momentum. Still, for those who knew Kodak personally, this felt like a turning point. One of his friends said he learned that not every smile means loyalty. He gonna move different now. He's still Yak, but he's smarter Yak. And as for Future, he never directly addressed it again. But he did drop one last Instagram caption that fans still debate to this day. Real ones don't clear rumors. They outlive M. The post got millions of likes, including one from Kodak himself. And just like that, what started as one of hip-hop's pettiest feuds became one of its most surprising redemption arcs. Because at the end of the day, Kodak and Future didn't need to prove who was right. They just had to prove they were real enough to handle it like men. Still, fans couldn't help wondering, was this really over? Or just a calm before another storm? After all, in this industry, peace never lasts forever, especially when pride, pain, and fame are all fighting for the same spotlight. So what do y'all think? Was Kodak Black justified in calling out Future? Or did he let the rumors get to him before seeing the full picture? Did Future really talk behind his back? Or was the whole thing a setup by someone inside Kodak's own circle? This story had everything: betrayal, loyalty, pride, and power. 2 of the biggest names in the game went from being brothers in the booth to rivals in the headlines, and somehow found their way back to respect. But deep down, you can still feel that tension, the kind that doesn't disappear overnight. One thing's for sure, both artists came out smarter, tougher, and more self-aware. And if they do end up linking again, that collab might just be one of the biggest moments hip-hop's seen in years. But we want to know what you think. Was this all real or a perfectly timed rollout? Was Kodak betrayed by his own people? Or did Future play the long game better than anyone else? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because the streets are talking. And everyone's got an opinion on this one. And don't forget, hit that like button if you were here for the drama. Subscribe for more wild celebrity stories. And turn on notifications so you don't miss the next chapter of rap's craziest reality show. Because if there's one thing hip-hop is taught us, nothing stays quiet forever.